Maura, he addresses House Republicans who all have to be on the ballot in November. This retreat in Doral was supposed to be talking about midterm strategy. This is not what they wanted to have to strategize around.
No, but it's what they're going to have to, because this is going to play a very big role in what happens come November. Not only is the House already fractured and dwindling in numbers, we're hearing of more members who are not wanting to run for re-election. And I think a large part of this is that what are they supposed to message on? There are a lot of things that the House wants to be able to tout, but they simply cannot if one week the president is touting low gas prices, and then this is happening right now where it is already jumped well over $1 from what it was when he was touting it at the State of the Union address. And so I think when you talk about the affordability message that Republicans have been harping on the White House to provide more clarity on and more messaging on, they are going to struggle. And so, unfortunately, I think that's probably what's being discussed. But it seems as though many members have a hard time, especially in the Republican Party, having those frank conversations with the president, because what he wants to hear is that everyone's happy and things are going great. That's how he operates. And then the reality is going to be starkly different.
Needing supplemental funding from Congress. If the president asks for it, do you think he's likely to get it? Could we actually see Democrats who are on board with that effort?
He'd have to make the case to Congress, and he has so far been refusing to do so. I think that's part of what I think Jeannie is talking about too, is that without this clearly defined plan and making the case to the American people who largely don't understand why we're even at war with Iran, and then wondering why we are implementing strikes without necessarily a plan of how to get out of it. There's been confusing messaging we talked about, Jeannie mentioned there. But more than that too, I think you also look at the president's flippant remarks about it's a small price to pay, it's not a big deal. Pete Hegseth saying this is what happens, this happens in war, being so dismissive and flippant about something that's so very serious. It just shows, again, this disconnect between the White House and what the American people are feeling and facing, between the White House and reality, what our allies are looking at and wondering, where do you stand? What is this for? And where does it end? And I think not being serious in a situation that is so very serious is a bit of a slap in the face to those of us who are wondering what's going to play out. To Jeannie's point, where does this end and what happens next?
Well, so what should happen? Maybe better to ask then what will happen at 5:30 when the president gets to the podium. He will have spent the whole day with members, hearing probably some real concern behind closed doors about all of this. What does he need to say? He hasn't had the Oval Office address or that FaceTime with the American people since this began, outside of a couple questions in the driveway, some telephone interviews, posts on Truth Social. This could be an opportunity, or it is an opportunity. How should he handle it?
It's absolutely an opportunity for him to address the nation and taking a position of leadership and accountability. That this was started XYZ. This started because of XYZ. We are now in a phase where we are implementing XYZ strikes. He just needs to lay it out in a way that shows us that he understands the severity of the situation, but also that he actually has a clear plan and a clear mission.
You want details.
We want details, but we also want a confident goal. I would say that watching him get distracted by how great he's doing, or curtains, or wearing a hat that says USA. I think that he gets so distracted by other things that it takes away from what is actually impacting us right now, what's happening on the ground, and to the people who are sacrificing and serving. And so I think that I would want to see him show some empathy, show some accountability, and take responsibility for the position that he has as commander-in-chief and leader of the free world and president of the United States, and in what his role is in what is happening right now.
Well, Jeannie,
the memes that are coming out of the White House, they had Call of Duty footage interspersed with drones crashing into Iran. And it was the last weekend that the UFC put out the fight card for the octagon that's going to be on the South Lawn. There are going to be 80,000 people apparently on the ellipse for this. This speaks directly to the base, though, Maura. How do you remove that and still be MAGA?
I don't know how you still be MAGA if you are looking at this, and the hypocrisy is just so rampant to me. You're looking at this, and for such criticisms of previous administrations for being so insulated and having been out of touch with reality. I don't know how you don't see this being completely out of touch with reality and what's happening, and it just takes away from the seriousness of the situation we find ourselves in.
All right, Maura Gillespie.